Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play Dual Hearts. We're at the beach. Why are we at the beach? Why wouldn't we be at the beach? The reason is, there's another cutscene. What do you want? It's Sarti. We haven't seen him outside his room. He's training. He doesn't look like he's training. He looks like he's standing there. Hooray, it's Chiffon again, because... Wait, actually. Pause. Sorry about that. Turns out I was wrong. Chiffon actually does sing with voice acting for a short period of time in this game. Not that you'd know it, because her lips don't move at all. Anyway, because we didn't get enough of her the first time around, because the second trip into her dream wasn't exactly enough like the first, we still have to go back to the beach to activate the next part of the game's storyline, and we've got a visitor. I don't know where everybody else went. Santa was sleeping on the porch, and Sarti was training on the beach, but now we're all alone. This is what I was referring to before, that way back around episode 3 or 4, Stompy picks up a bit of a harem over the course of the game, despite being pretty unlikable up to about the halfway mark. I really like this music. This is actually pretty important. It's surprisingly subtle. They mention that Chiffon views Abel as a brother, which makes, I would assume, people more comfortable with the idea of her developing as a love interest for Stompy over the course of the game. I sort of assumed that if he had been her boyfriend or her fiance or whatever, and if he had just died and we had just sort of jumped into her head and solved her problems, that people would have been a little bit uneasy about the whole idea. Bumble looks so sad. It's so rare that he looks not dancing, I guess. Yeah, this is basically a rehash of the scene with Abel in the first place, where Chiffon says she's singing only for herself, but instead she's going to sing for her fans, since she doesn't apparently already have millions of them. She's the prima donna. She must be some kind of opera star or something. Her heart will go on, or something equally trite like that. Uh-oh. I love this. You're so whipped! It's totally worth the whole sequence just for Bumble's little sequence here. Could this be heart? Wham! Oh man, he totally had it coming. And he is good! 3 points. It's a field goal. To be fair, I don't think Chiffon can actually hear Bumble talk at all, meaning from her perspective. Stompy just turned around and kicked his little pig dog for no reason whatsoever. Man, what a jerk. Alright, that was fun. Bumble seems to be no worse for wear. Still dancing. What do you have to say? He's still training, apparently. Oh yeah, you can hear Chiffon singing in the background. She's just like McTuve. She comes with her own background music, which is hilarious to me. Santa's here. Yep, they come back. They were gone for the last cutscene, but they're back now. Keep in mind, it's awfully large. Oh god, I can climb that tree. Wow. It's an awfully large audience for what's supposed to be a really sweet cutscene, I suppose. Then again, this is the beach. It is during the day. The last time we were here for the previous cutscene, it was at night. Anyway, to trigger the next part of the storyline, we have to get back to the town. So let's skip the forest and go straight there. Sano Village. Let's say hi to you. Haven't seen you in a while. Yep, like I said. Hannah plays in the forest. It's only one screen large, but somehow she got lost. She must be in the tree or something, whatever. But, you know, Meg's her mom and she takes it pretty hard. And she's pregnant. Extremely pregnant. So we've got a legitimate medical emergency on our hands. And we've never seen a hint of a doctor in this town, so we'll put her to bed. She'll sleep it off. I mean, it certainly helps us solve her problem. Yeah, this will work. We'll go into Meg's dream and find Dream Hannah and take her out into the real world, and that'll replace the real Hannah. I don't know, that seems to be the solution that worked most of our problems so far. But no, we're actually going to link to Hannah's dream, much like we did in McTuve's dream, except only Meg's and Hannah's dream are connected, as opposed to McTuve allowing us to go to everyone's dream. He is a genius, by Bumble standards, or Baku standards, I suppose. Let's do it! What have we got to lose? So when I said previously that there are 15 major levels in the game, I didn't include Meg's Dream. Meg's Dream is basically the vestibule for Hannah's Dream. It's a pretty cool area. It looks like their house, but really twisted to represent the fact that Meg is terrified that her daughter's gone. It's surprisingly real, all things considered, considering that's a pretty severe fear, especially from a parental standpoint. Also note that they say that Spencer's too busy to come home, but he works 2 screens away. It's a 30-second walk, which includes loading times, which I assume these people don't have to deal with in real life, or whatever passes forward on this island. Anyway, the objective here is to find the entrance to Hannah's Dream in these little boxes scattered around the house. I think it's the second one that has it. There's also a small number of collectibles that don't really count towards Hannah's Dream, but serve to fill out the 100% completion, so we'll be picking those up. They're not too difficult. There's only one we have access to right now. Meg is practically catatonic right now. Even in her subconscious, this is pretty bad. Surprisingly serious, considering the level itself is extremely lighthearted. Here's the crystal that teleports to Hannah's Dream. Note you can see it much more closely, that has a picture of her face on it, similar to the ones in McTube's Dream. Also, there's a piece of dream energy in these boxes. I was hoping to find that first, but instead we'll have to go wander around a bit more and get it. Of course, it's in the last one. You know it's always in the last one. I mean, I know it's in the last one because I played this game a couple days ago. But yes, that's the last box, and it contains 1 piece of dream energy. There's a gold Esmon and an HP up fragment. We'll pick those up later. Can't jump without talking to Meg. Into Hannah's Dream. This is probably my favorite level in the entire game. It has a screen filter, but there's a good reason for it, because this level is storybook based. There are 4 pages, and this is page 1. It's basically a pop-up book with the visuals to match. Look, it's Hannah. We found her. That was easy. Picking gigantic paper flowers. She looks pretty happy considering how freaked out her mom is. She must have just fallen asleep somewhere. But of course, it can't be that easily. She gets kidnapped by a little paper minion thing on a paper bird thing. Alright, that was already pretty weird. So I guess our goal is that mountain, which we will get to on page 3. Didn't look like a stork. Storks don't take away children. At least not in my mythological canon. Let's do some quick collecting. This area is pretty small. Everything's pretty easy to find. There's no combat in this first room, on this first page. There's a Tummy-Up fragment here in the corner, and a few scattered rings. There are between 20 and 30 rings in every page. Everything is pretty evenly distributed. I got 95 rings on this first playthrough. Either I missed 5, or you just can't quite get them all. Hannah's Dream is one of those where there isn't a separate second area when you come back, but things do change later, similar to Santa's Dream. You can bounce on these flowers. It's not really useful now, but as you can imagine, there will be platforming challenges revolving around this later in the level. There's a caterpillar we can lock onto over here. Not really sure what to do, and you can see a shadow of a bird. That'll become relevant later. It's a little perplexing to figure out what you're supposed to do, considering the signs are actually pretty rare and they don't show up very often, and the camera angle is not particularly friendly to your goal of solving the puzzle. It's got these platforms, because you know there's going to be something here, and I actually had to come back and get this later because I didn't see what I was supposed to do the first time. I just assumed something would appear. My second run through the dream, and I was wrong. If we stay here long enough, a bird will appear with a piece of dream energy on it, which is also a clue as to what we have to do to solve the regular puzzle for this page. One of the birds will fly by with a sun panel, and there's a moon and sun, I should say a switching panel right here, so we'll just toss the sun last possible second, of course, just like I always do. Gives us an X. That's not helpful at all. But if we keep looking around, there's another bird. Not the same one as before. You can do this in either order, but the first bird disappears when you get one of the 2 items you need, so that's nice. Oh, there it goes. We missed it already. They're supposed to show up largely the same flight path, but sometimes they change directions on you and it's really confusing. See, that one flew away, now it comes back. There's a sheep. Sure. Why wouldn't there be a sheep? There's always a sheep. He gives us some dream energy, so it's okay. He's gonna give us the solution. I probably could have done this before. Not really sure what. Hey, does that bird have a gold Esmon? I never noticed that. I guess we'll have to come back here. Wow, alright, you learn something new every day. Even me, and I played this game already. So anyway, what we need is that caterpillar that we can lock onto. You can pull it out of the wall with the snake fang. And the positioning has to be surprisingly precise considering it's right there, just because you're trying to get in between, close enough to get it, without walking into the crystal that takes you back to Meg's dream. But anyway, we have it. I also screwed up a lot because I tend to use the Arbalest by accident when I have them both equipped, because they serve largely the same function and I have trouble differentiating between the two apparently. I guess I'm just an idiot, what can I say? Anyway, that's the end of page 1. The bird takes us away, so that the page can turn to page 2, which is the forest maze. This area is pretty long, and it contains our first taste of combat in this level. These little pop-up guys jump out. They stab us with spears, but they can't move except laterally, so they're really not that hard. I take a lot of damage because I'm a moron, you know, these things happen. But realistically, you can just pelt them with the Arbalest, or the charge attack of just about any weapon, and they just go down. I guess I was just in a rush. See, if you jump in between these guys, they can both hit you, and so you sort of pinball between them. It's not really a position you want to be in, but again, I got into it anyway. They can block too, especially when they're attacking. It's a little weird. I'm not sure what the optimal strategy for them is, but they go down in 3 hits from the sword, so it's not really something I want to worry about. There's a platform over here. I can't do anything about that yet. We'll be back there later, probably in the second run through for the dream. Pick up some rings, and there's an orange we can lock onto. Hang on, I'm stopping for a second because Bumble is sucking up Esamons, and I want to be at full. Also because I was checking my guide because I was confused as to where I was going. Alright, let's get that orange. I mean, there must be a reason we can lock onto it, right? Why not? One for the road. It's always suspect when something shows up in a counter on your interface. Standard video game logic. More of these guys. What do you want? You want to die. Preferably without hitting me. Oh, there we go. What did I tell you? You're dead. Moving on. I'm pretty sure at some point in the game you could get a dialogue that explains this story, the 4 pages and the 4 things that happen. You know, the field, the kidnapped princess, the forest maze, the mountain, whatever. But I wasn't able to find it in this playthrough. It must be available only during a very specific time. There was a dialogue previously where Meg actually tells Hen the story of the first sage, the one that we heard from McTuve, except not with voice acting. We don't actually hear the full story there. He just says, I will tell you the story of the Baku and the sage or something. Sheep! Alright, he wants the tangerine. I guess it's a tangerine, not an orange. Fresh and juicy. Eats the whole thing, skin and all. Man, these sheep are crazy. This guy must have been really hungry. It was like half the size of him. And of course, he's standing in the way. Now, we've reached the end of this part, but I'm going to go back for a minute. You may have noticed this platform as we were running around. Stand on it for a bit because I assume that after we pull it out with the snake fang, it'll snap back, but turns out it does not. We have to jump all the way to that piece of dream energy. Doesn't really look like we can make it, but it's actually quite simple. It's just like the Do-Re-Mi platforms from Chiffon's dream. We can just jump a lot further than it looks. Anyway, back we go. Again, this is a pop-up book, and this hole serves the same purpose. It lets them turn the page without knocking us off the level. That's kind of cute. Like, they really went a long way to make the implementation of this as a pop-up book world seem really real. This one's particularly elaborate. It takes a long time to load all the little platforming bits. Now we're climbing the mountain. This is page 3. By far the longest of all of them, just because we have to get all the way up to the top, and there's a bunch of little optional platforming things you can do on the side, like picking up this piece of dream energy. 76. I should point out that this is the level we have to complete. I should say this is the level we need 20 pieces of dream energy in the dream temple to access the key door for the first time, and I'm pretty sure we're well within range to do that. Not sure why I'm using the sword charge attack to hit that guy. I must have forgotten I can do that. Doesn't matter because he despawned. Anyway, I believe the sheep told us what to do. We have to pull out the platform. I kind of wanted to see if I can chop down that tree. I cannot. We have to pull out that platform with the snake fang. Get a lot of mileage out of this item. Snake fang gets to be the item of use in 2 different dungeons, Chiffon's dream and Hannah's dream. I guess that's the benefit to Chiffon's dream not advancing the main plot at all. One of these guys, let's take them out with the Arbalest. Wow, we hit him twice. I've never seen that happen before. Alright, here are those bouncy flower things again. This could potentially drive you crazy because you're supposed to use Bumble when you're doing it, but I actually had a really difficult time figuring out what the timing was to get Bumble to bounce after he lands on the flower for the first time. Also, yes, apparently you can land on the corner and nearly fall off. And freak yourself out like I did. So close to the corner that it doesn't even... Oops. I don't know why I left that in. Man. It's pretty dumb. Anyway, let's get back up there. Miracle of television. Wonderful. This is a sun tile, but as you can see, that platform on the right only rotates through the moon and the star, which means we need to throw it to this other one down here next to the sheep. It means you just have to be really careful with the timing. You have to throw it when the star platform is visible, meaning that by the time it finally lands, it will have changed to the sun. It gives you plenty of time to do that, and that gives us bouncy flower platform to get up on that ladder. Yes, you can climb these ladders. It's not entirely obvious on the first glance, but you can climb the ladders on the side of the pop-up book. You can also get hit in the face by the spike ball. You don't have to, I don't recommend it, but, you know, whatever. I'm gonna pick up this ring. I don't know why I'm doing this now. I have to fall off at some point anyway to get the rest of them. I guess I just assumed that if I could only see 2 rings, there must only be 2 rings, right? Why was I wrong? I'm trying to figure out if that, rotating platform is a new one or the one I got the dream energy off of, and it's, yes, it is the dream energy. Oh man. That spike ball was so awesome I had to let it hit me twice. Sigh. Get my bearings for a bit. Another bouncy platform. Oops, missed that one. I shouldn't be using Bumble because I can't climb ladders when I'm on him in the first place. I'm also taking a lot of time to look around because I know, like that one right there, there's 3 tummy ups, or 3, I should say, fragments of various things floating around the sky area. Just trying to get my orientation so I can figure out how to prioritize. It turns out what I'm going to do now is pick up those rings and jump off to pick up that fragment. I guess I forgot at this point in the level that I can use the draw card to pick up HP and tummy fragments. Let's just grab that and jump back up here. And there's the other tile. We can go in here, and there's a platform that we can jump on, but it doesn't actually move yet. I can't actually see it yet, but there's also another tummy up fragment a bit further up, close to the platform we're going to ride that other stone thing to. And you can see a couple of gold SMRs too. Off in the distance, that's what we're going to be doing during our second trip through Hannah's Dream. Can't get it yet. So anything I didn't pick up or anything I missed this first time around, I'll be getting in that try. This drop is way longer than the first one, so you have to be a little bit more careful about your timing. I, of course, just threw it without really thinking about it. Doesn't really matter. If you miss, it just breaks and you get another one. Makes that move up and down. Surprising, I know. Let's pick up these 2 rings, and I'll meet you back at the moving platform. Here we are. Let's go jump on here. Pretty easy to make. Bumble. There's an HP up fragment. That's the 3rd. The second one is actually under the platform we're on right now. So let's go here. I think I was also reluctant to use the draw card just because I'd gone through all the trouble of getting a draw card of every element, and I didn't really want to lose one if I could avoid it. Back on. Suck it in. Use it. Ding. It doesn't make a noise, so I have to make it for you. There we go. Ding. How do you like that? Bumble liked it. He's dancing. He's happy. Anyway, we are at the top. We can't get any more items here except for a couple of additional rings, so let's climb the ladder, and we will enter the 4th and final page, in which we will fight the boss and finally get a key. I haven't gotten a key since episode 19. We will do that on the next episode of Let's Play Dual Hearts. See you then.